Welcome to Expand Your Empire, the podcast where women stop deferring wealth and start building financial power. I'm Amanda Taylor, investor, strategist, and disruptor of outdated money rules. It's time to own your worth, grow your assets, and build a legacy that lasts. Welcome back, Empire Builders. I am so excited you're here. If you were here last week, you know we were talking about money systems, the structures that make your finances flow and help you operate like the wealthy woman that you are becoming. But here is what we need to talk about today. Those systems only work when you do. And we all know life doesn't always make that easy. Chaos comes, life shifts, our income fluctuates, expenses inevitably pop up, and our motivation can disappear overnight. And money, for so many people, is the first place that stress shows up. It brings tension, that feeling of never having enough. And it can disappear just as quickly as it arrives. So how do we stay grounded when life gets messy? How do we keep showing up for our finances when everything feels really unpredictable? And that is what I want to dive into today. And I do want to acknowledge something real before we go any further. If money stresses you out, you are not alone. Over half women report that money negatively impacts their mental health. And this stress shows up everywhere. We don't sleep. We have overall exhaustion, tension in our body. And for many of us, that financial pressure, it isn't just mental, it is physical. So I'm not sharing this to make us feel worse. I'm sharing it because I want us to know that what we're all feeling, it is real and it's not a character flaw. But what I also want us to know is that the solution is not just more financial literacy. It is not another budgeting app or savings challenge. It is rhythm. It is regulation. It is learning to combine the practical tools with the emotional awareness so you can stay steady no matter what life throws at you. Because wealth isn't built from perfection. It is built from rhythm. And that rhythm means you can adapt without falling apart. You can bend without breaking, and you can stay connected to your goals even when life pulls you in 1,000 directions. So this episode is about balancing empowerment with education. And I want you to accept where you are, we make the right adjustments, and then learn to see your finances through the eyes of your wealthy self, even when things are not perfect. Because real wealth isn't just about how much you have. It is about how you respond when things don't go the way you planned. Let's start with this truth. And I've said it before, you don't need to be perfect with money to build wealth. You need to be consistent enough to stay in motion. Think of your finances like music. I'm a huge music nerd. Every song has a rhythm. It can slow down or speed up or pause or change keys. But as long as the rhythm continues, the music stays alive. And your financial rhythm is the same way. It's not about hitting every note perfectly. It's about staying in tempo, even when the melody changes. And chaos does not mean failure. You're not off track because life got hard. We're all human. If you've ever skipped a week of budgeting, or you had to dip into your savings, or heaven forbid you missed a payment, that doesn't make you bad with money. It just means your rhythm got off beat. So the goal isn't to have to start over every time. The goal is just to find your tempo again, because wealth is built in motion, not perfection. Now, the difference between people who eventually reach financial freedom and those who don't is that one group avoids chaos and the one group keeps going through it. Wealthy people don't operate from guilt. They operate from this rhythm. When something throws them off, they adjust and they just get back in sync quickly. That's what keeps the momentum alive. So when something stressful happens around money, what story do you tell yourself? Do you go straight to guilt, like, oh, I should have planned better? Or do you spiral into fear? Like, what if this happens again and again and again? Or do you pause and say, okay, what is my next best move? That shift right there from emotion to execution is what separates reactivity from rhythm. So there are three main rhythms that will keep your finances in harmony. And when you understand these, you can handle almost any life season without really falling off track. So we'll talk about cash flow rhythm. This is the heartbeat of your financial life. It's how money moves in and out of your system. And when you have cash flow rhythm, you know what's coming in, when it's coming in, and where it is going. You have predictable patterns, those automatic transfers we talked about, bill payments, those weekly money dates. If your income fluctuates, that means your rhythm matters even more. You can create more stability by setting up base pay from your business, keeping a buffer account, or you time your expenses around when you actually get paid. That cash flow rhythm really creates calm. It's what allows you to make clear financial decisions even when things are somewhat uncertain. So the next one is credit and debt rhythm. Now, this one is about balance and maintenance. It is the steady process of paying down, building up, and reviewing your credit regularly. Think of it like tuning an instrument. You don't wait until something breaks to fix it. You make small adjustments often so that everything stays in tune. You check your credit report regularly. You review that utilization we talked about last week, and you celebrate progress, even if it's small. Wealthy people don't fear credit and debt. They respect it, they maintain it, and they use it strategically. And then we've got our growth rhythm. This is where our wealth compounds. It's your savings, your investing, and that reviewing cycle. You don't have to time the market. You just need to stay in. Small, steady deposits into investments or retirement accounts or savings create more results than these big random moves. We schedule those quarterly reviews of our net worth and our investment goals. So it's not about control, it's about awareness. And when we master those three rhythms, cash flow, credit, and growth, you build a foundation that can weather any storm. So there's a quote that I think about very often from Layla Hermosi. Fuck your mood, follow the plan. Pardon my language, but she's absolutely right. Your emotions will fluctuate. Some days you'll feel motivated and super productive, and other days you're going to wake up feeling tired, overwhelmed, unsure, like crap. But if your financial goals and systems are built from your wealthy self, from the version who is confident and capable and clear, then you can trust the plan even when your mood doesn't match. And that is why these systems matter so much. They remove the guesswork and the decision fatigue. And when the chaos hits, then you rely on your plan instead of your emotions. If you already know where your money goes, how your bills are handled, and what your priorities are, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time something unexpected happens. That means your system is your safety net. Your income comes in, your expenses get covered, and the savings and the investments, then they begin to happen automatically. So you play in your purpose accounts that we talked about, those give you freedom. You don't have to overhaul everything. You just have to stay on the beat. And I get it. It sounds easier than it feels because when stress hits, logic takes the backseat. And that is why this preparation and automation is everything. You can't build a calm mindset in the middle of chaos. You have to build it before. So when life throws something at you, your nervous system already knows, I've got this. I have a plan. That preparation turns fear into clarity. Now, let's be honest. Obviously, life happens. Sometimes all at once. You lose a client. You get hit with an unexpected bill. Somebody gets sick. And you just hit seasons of burnout and you feel like your whole plan is off. But remember, rhythm is about flexibility. So let's talk about scenarios because this is where the empowerment meets education. Your car breaks down. it is $1,200 to fix it. If you are in panic mode, you'll throw it on a credit card and then beat yourself up about it later. If you are in rhythm, you ask, where does this fit in my system? And then you go check your accounts. You see that your emergency fund can handle part of it. And then you use your operating account for the rest. And you can adjust your spending for the next couple weeks to bring it back into balance. No drama, no guilt, just data and decisions. Now that is the difference between a reaction and a response. And let's say maybe you've got a slow month in your business. You lose a client or sales drop unexpectedly. So the old you might freak out and start grasping for quick fixes. Wealthy you will look at your buffer account. Say you've built in 2 months of runway. So you pause non-essential spending, you focus on revenue generating activities, and you remind yourself this is temporary. Your emotions don't dictate your decisions, your plan does. And now, sometimes the problem isn't even financial, it is emotional. You are tired, you're overextended, you're in a season where it feels like you're just barely holding it all together. And in those moments, your wealthy self doesn't push harder. She simplifies. She automates what she can. She maintains only the essentials, and she protects her peace. Because wealth isn't built from hustle. It is built from harmony. So here's what we do when life throws us off beat. We pause. We don't panic. We take a deep breath and look at the facts. What is really happening right now? How long might it last? You can't fix what you don't face. And then when life is unpredictable, we focus on our essentials. We keep the key accounts running, we maintain our money dates, and we let go of the extras just temporarily. We have to reprioritize. Maybe this isn't our season to grow. Maybe it's our season to stabilize, and that is okay. Consistency doesn't mean expansion. Sometimes it means staying steady while you recover. Wealthy people don't always speed up. Sometimes they slow down, and that is what keeps them sustainable. So when you lose your rhythm, rebuilding doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be intentional. We start small. We pick one financial habit that helps you feel grounded again. That weekly date, the savings transfer, your debt payment, or even just logging in to check your account, see where you're at. And then you reflect, you don't react. You look at what used to work for you and bring back one positive habit at a time. And then give yourself credit for every step. You are not starting over again. You're resyncing with yourself. Think of it like jumping back onto a treadmill that's still running. I did fall off one doing that one time. But you don't have to sprint. You start by matching the pace and then you build up speed. I do it right now. Here's the mindset shift that you need to practice. Start thinking like your wealthy self and not your current one. She isn't worried about the temporary. She is focused on the trajectory. She doesn't make decisions from panic. She makes them from the plan. She doesn't spend impulsively when she's stressed. She checks her priorities and she doesn't freeze when things go wrong. She just adjusts and keeps moving. So I want you to imagine that version of you sitting next to you right now. How would she handle what's happening in your life today? Would she look at your accounts differently? Would she communicate differently with your partner or your clients? Would she remind you that you've already handled much harder things? Okay, this isn't about pretending that everything is okay. It is about remembering that you are capable, that you've built the systems and the awareness and the resilience to navigate the messy middle, because the truth is, the bigger your empire grows, the more moving parts there are, and the more chaos you're going to encounter. But if your inner rhythm stays steady, everything else follows. Money doesn't exist in isolation. It touches every part of your life, your mindset, your emotions, even your body. And when your finances feel out of control, You feel it physically, tight shoulders, shallow breathing, horrible sleep, and all of those people dealing with financial stress. It's draining our energy. And what makes it so hard is this money stress isn't just about the numbers. It's tied to so much shame, our identity, and our self-worth. It's why two people can have the exact same bank balance and feel completely different about it. So part of building wealth is learning to regulate yourself, not just your money. And that means practicing calm in chaos, taking care of your energy, and remembering that your financial rhythm starts with your personal rhythm. Consistency doesn't mean never missing a beat. It means knowing how to find it again. And if you keep showing up, the rhythm always comes back. So what I want you to take away today, wealth isn't built in perfect conditions, it is built in real life. When you keep showing up for your money, even when you're tired. We keep making those small, steady moves that align with our goals. We stop chasing perfection and start chasing rhythm. That chaos is inevitable, but losing our focus doesn't have to be. When we know who we are, what our plan is, and when we operate from our wealthy self instead of our reactive self, we can handle anything that life throws our way. So here's your challenge for this next week. I want you to check in with your rhythm. Where have you fallen out of sync? And what's one step you can take to find your beat again? Ask yourself, what would my wealthy self do in this situation? And then make one small adjustment, not 10, just one. Because I've said it before, every small adjustment compounds into confidence. And if you want more guidance on creating a rhythm that actually fits your life, if you want to help build those systems and stay accountable through the chaos, I want you to come join us. Inside the Expand Your Empire community, we will help you turn chaos into cadence and build systems that move with you, not against you. We help you stay in your power and remind you that your wealthy self already knows what to do. Because we know wealth doesn't come from doing more. It comes from staying in this rhythm. So I want to invite you to come back and be with us next week. I want to invite you to come inside of our community and join other women who are meeting their wealthy selves, regulating both the internal and learning about the external. So until then, stay steady, stay flexible, stay grounded, and keep your rhythm alive. I'll see you next time.
If this lit something up, share it, review it, and get in the room. Join the Expand Your Empire community and start turning wisdom into wealth. You're not too late, and you're not doing this alone.